everybody, Cliffhanger here at Replay Guitar Exchange with our good friend Jason Stoller. Thank you so much for coming by. Always, it's a pleasure.
Thanks for having me. We always have fun jamming here, dude.
Absolutely, and doing all things rock and metal. Well, today is going to be an awesome video because we are going to be diving into the world of orange amplifiers, specifically the Rocker series. There are two different rockers. There's a Rocker 32, and then there is the Rocker 15. And I think we should just compare them to see how they sound.
Let's do that, man. So we'll play some rock and metal, and I think the goal here is really just to see what would suit your situation better. Like, do you need the 32, or are you better suited for like the 15? And is there really that big a difference between the two? So we're gonna talk about that. Let's jam first, dude.
Let's jam it. In today's demo, we are going to be using this ESP E2, which is an awesome guitar, by the way. If you have, want to check one of these out, these are really cool. The amps, we want to talk a little bit about these amps. The Orange Rocker series comes in two different Tolex finishes, the orange or the black, but in today's video, of course, we're going to be using the orange Tolex because we're representing orange, right?
It just looks cool, man.
Yeah, man. These are what I would consider a great rock and metal amp because they have this unique kind of fuzz to them, especially when you take that gain and you crank it all the way. The way the orange amps are laid out, they have these hieroglyphics on the controls. So you can see it has a bass, a mid, and a treble. You have a gain section and then a volume. The other cool thing about these amps is that you could change the power settings. So you could do full power, like on the Rocker 32, you can do 32 watts of pure rock and roll, or you can cut that in half, which is really cool. Same for the 15, you could do 15 watts or cut that in half to like a 7 watt or 7.5. And they both sound really cool. So depending on your needs as a musician, you can get the Mac Daddy or something smaller, maybe for like more of a bedroom style, but still get that tube warmth.
I like that. I've played through some other, smaller amplifiers, and there's just something lacking with a lot of the smaller amplifiers. There's tons on the market right now, and I'm not represented by Orange or sponsored by Orange or any of that. I know you guys have some here. These are, I don't know if these are new or pre-owned.
These are new here.
These are brand new, okay, because I know you guys get pre-owned stuff all the time. But just from a total unbiased opinion here, that the 15 watt sounded much better than many of the other smaller amplifiers that I've played through.
Yeah, they're cool amps. I would say they don't have the super definition of some of the stuff like the Rocker Verbs, but they do have this kind of fuzzy overtone, which sounds really good for like doom and like over the top like black metal kind of stuff. So let's take a listen, man. Let's blare some metal through these.
Let's do it.
quick, I also just want to say that, of course, these amps have a clean section, but we are just comparing the distortions today, the overdrives within the amp, how gainy can they get, how messed up and metal can you get on them. This amp also does have an effects loop, but today we're just doing dry signal, miking it up, and running into Studio One.
And I didn't do any post-processing on these tracks either. I mean, yeah, we could have churched them up with some EQ and maybe compression or whatever, but we're not, we're not dealing with a full mix here. And again, a raw tone. We wanted you guys to hear what this sounds like recorded, just at a raw tone. Of course, you can add pedals and effects and all that good stuff, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with the tones, man.
So, Jason, what settings are you using on the rocker amps?
Well, ours, and I'm glad you asked this question because our settings are slightly different. So I've got the gain cranked. Again, we're not using any pedals with this, no overdrive pedal or anything like that. So my gain is cranked all the way up. Plus we're sort of at lower volumes here. My treble, I boosted my treble 6 to 7-ish. I know the knobs are kind of hard to see on the orange amps. My mids are cut just a little bit back to about 4. And I think I even gave the bass a slight boost there because again, we're kind of in a small room. So even though it's loud, it wasn't like ultra loud. So those are my settings. Yours were a little bit different though.
Yeah, I left the bass about the same right at 12 o'clock. And then I boosted the mids way up, and then I boosted the treble just a little bit. But I boosted those mids so you can really hear how they cut through on these amps. And I cut the gain back on my settings as well.
Yeah, because that's more for that hard rock and roll tone. I'm trying to get more of a metal tone out of
right,
this. So,
exactly.
So that was a great demonstration of two types of tones you can get from this amplifier.
Absolutely, and so they are versatile amps.
Dude, I mean, what's your favorite one out of the two?
So if I had to choose, I'm like go big or go home. I really like the 32. I think you get a lot more bass response and bass definition in your notes, which is to be expected because of course it's a bigger box itself, so inherently you're gonna have some more bass response. But it's really cool, and again, if you wanted to attenuate that, you could just cut it to the half power and get some of that. What about you, man?
Yeah, the 32 for sure. I mean, the 15 sounded great. I mean, I can't take anything away from that, but you and I both noticed as soon as we plugged into the 32, there was more bottom end, just a better response overall and more warmth and a little bit more sustained too. Just you feel it when you're playing.
Yes.
And that's the thing about tube amps. Like there is something to be said for feeling that amp as you play those notes. So yeah, I prefer the 32 over the 15. If I were going to buy one or the other, I'd rather spend a little bit extra and get the 32.
Absolutely. But let us know what you guys think. Which amp did you prefer in this video? And if you are in the Tampa area, be sure to come by Replay Guitar Exchange and demo these for yourself. Keep in mind, we do have these on our website, replayguitar.com, and we do ship to you for free. Of course, the Rocker 32 is a little bit more expensive than the 15, which is to be expected, but they're still very affordable, great sounding amplifiers. By the way, my friend Jason here, he has some great content out there on the YouTubes. So if you guys are interested, be sure and check out some of these videos here. We will see you right over there.